we're actually live on the terrace. Give me a few minutes because we're going to, I want to share to all our other links, but we're actually live already. Until I've shared to other pages, people are still sleeping. Arsenal fans were still celebrating the fact that we only lost by 1 goal. It was not embarrassing. It was not embarrassing. Things could have been worse. So give me a few minutes while I share to the other pages. If you're quick like me and you're not on your phone, you can also share to your Facebook pages. Live now. Live now. Ochiweda, now you're here. You're supposed to be the first person to log in.
Oh no.
Huh? You're supposed to be the first fan, and then Masharia is supposed to be the second one. That's how it's supposed to be. I can see, guys have started logging in. Guys, if you just logged in, Karibu, this is the terrace. We were not here last week or the week before. And despite the fact that Arsenal lost their game, I've garnered the courage to be here. Masharia, I think you start by letting everyone quickly introduce themselves.
Yeah, so for the 2 or 3 guys who don't know me, I'm Xavier Masharia. I'll be your host today, Man United fan. And so I'll begin with the newest, with the guys who've never been here before. And I'll begin with Gerard. Gerard, I'll be with you. Say who you are and tell us what you do in terms of football. In 30 seconds.
So thank you guys. My name is Gerard Bethuel Yator. I'm a coach Bucks Academy Nakuru. And I'm a City fan and a Pep Guardiola follower.
Okay, how come you're not moving? We're just seeing you. And the first, by the way, the first comment on the page is that man's fan at his wall hanging will give me nightmares.
This is my totem. This is my clan. My clan is named after buffaloes. So I've hanged it in my wall.
A buffalo. So next.
Ochiweda.
Okay. My names are Evans Ochieng, popularly known as Ochiweda. Football. Yeah.
And you're a Ghana like me.
Yes. And I come from Bondo like you.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
Next. Okay. Who's next? Joshua.
Yes, this is Kwanya Joshua, a Chelsea fan. Among other things, I do a show called The Final Whistle, so you can check it out. Thank you.
I know The Final Whistle. John.
Asante sana.
Okay, I'm John Oditi, commonly known as Wayne. Currently a coach at Apoko United FC, a strong follower of Manchester United.
Pole sana.
Thank you.
And last but not least, the lovely Hilda.
Hi guys, my name is Hilda Chepto. I'm a sports blogger. I'm also part of the Final Whistle panelists. I'm a Liverpool fan. So leo banta tuweke in a minimum. Mkanyagie chini.
Before you start, Masharia, let me just send some shout-outs and then I'll hand over to you. Of course, Princess Nelly is the only person who's not on this panel because she's a chicken, despite the fact that she dresses like a zebra. She says, Ochi, praise God. Shadrach Apollo, where's the link, Carol? And you're on air, and you're there. Mukutsi Kelvin, hello. Gilbert Oundo, Arsenal played well, only that they conceded an early goal. Gunners could have drawn or rather beat City. They had the power. Ahija Kote, and that was it. Loss, pistol for life. Peter Omondi, we need an apology ASAP. You're 6 minutes late. That is my fault. Princess Nelly, 7 minutes late. Emmanuel Kim Wanzia says, Man City, he's the one who's scared of your wall hanging. Jackie Minjavi, hi Jackie, she says logged in, at least we lost only 1-0. Jerry Ogindo, we knew Arsenal was supporting Manchester City as we as we as United Fraternity are busy supporting them. But Siju, what? Masharia, over to you. We have 45 minutes to get through a lot.
Exactly. So I want us first to begin with online abuse on players. I think as it yesterday, after the City's game, we had online assault on Rowie. We've had racist claims on Tuanzib and Marcus Rashford and Martial. So the question I want to ask the panelists is, when is too much too much? Because I think we need to know there is a limit to everything. We have a limit to anger. We have a limit to joy. We have a limit to frustration. And so when does too much? And is it so difficult to know that it's actually going overboard? Because players are also human beings and they also have bad days. So let's hear from you quickly, 1 minute each, and on the online assault on players when they have a bad day. We begin with the person with the motherly instincts here. That is Hilda.
I think for me personally, I know football has a lot of passionate fans. Generally, sports has a lot of passionate fans. But I really don't understand why if a player doesn't maybe perform, and most of the time it's not that the player didn't perform, he made some few errors. Now you go on social media, threaten the family, and then for some reason it's when people now discover, oh, Pogba is black, the other guy is black. When the team is winning, your fans, we don't seem not to see the player's color. But when something happens, they now start racially abusing. I think for me personally, I think now these social media platforms, I think the owners of the social media platforms, Kina Zuckerberg and the guy who owns Twitter, I think they need now to be more strict on who joins Twitter, find a way on verifying those accounts, so that when somebody comments or does all that, the racial things, they can be identified and traced back to. Because I hear there are people who have several accounts, and just the accounts are just for bullying players, which is really, really unfortunate.
So you want them trumped? Who else wants to contribute to this discussion? Joshua, what are your thoughts?
For me, I think that I'll agree with Jepto. Rarely a Liverpool fan and a Chelsea fan agree, but it's upon the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and all those ones, to stem out these guys. Because even if you say that players to stop using social media, that's not going to be the end of it. And recently we've been seeing players taking a knee before kickoff, of which to me I think it has not. I don't think whether it has made any improvement to stop these social media abuses. So I think it's just a few stupid guys who want to abuse other people because, for example, the Man United defender that was recently abused, because he had a not so good game, we go to social media to abuse him. It doesn't help. And I think it's upon the social media platforms to come up and say, okay, you are on Facebook, you are on Twitter. What are you posting? Are you posting things that are, abusing people? So I think those are they need to be stemmed out, and that's the only way I think we can eradicate at the least social media abuses.
I agree with you both, but I have a slightly different view. The social media, you can't police social media. It is an animal that is out of control, even for those who are in charge of the platforms. Going after Donald Trump is one individual. You're going after, as Hilda, you said, people with 10 different accounts, with 20 different pseudonyms, with images of other celebrities. It will be so hard to crack down on them. I think there needs to be some sort of control around the playing unit, especially before and after a game. After a bad game, just tell your players, if you can't handle it, stay away from social media, because it's going to be impossible to control that abuse. You've put yourself in the limelight, and I'm speaking here as I'm saying in quotes, a celeb in quotes, you've put yourself in the limelight. So you've almost invited any comment, criticism that is out there. And unfortunately, the social media is full of crazies. So it's up to you to decide when to get on and get off the platform.
I think.
Exactly, Caro. And that's why I wanted to bring Dera in here. And I wanted to ask you, as a player, how should you handle the hate and the criticism that comes from social media, especially when you have a bad game?
Okay. Hello, Macharian. Hello?
Yeah, you can be heard.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
on my side, I would say that when it comes to such nonsense, I call them nonsense. As a player, I want to talk on the side of the players. You see, like if you compare the Tuanzebe case and the Rashford case, you see the reaction of the two guys were different. So the perspective of a player will determine how it synthesizes their abuse. So to me, a player should, or the coaching staff and the teams, at least guidance should be made in a way that a player need to understand that, okay, today was my bad day, so I expect this. I expect this. So whenever you play as a player, you expect that negative feedback from other people. Not everybody will be for your side. So when you fall a victim of the same, already psychologically you are prepared. And I want to say the way Rashford challenged the abusers was a bit mature. So that is the way to go, I think.
Okay, let me read,
Exactly.
I want to read 3 comments, and then Masharia will move on to the next topic because it's already like 20 past. Let me see, Shadrach Apollo Doctor says, let's not even focus too much on European football. Here in Kenya, when Harambee Stars win, they're a national team. When they lose, they're a Luo and Luya affair. We need to even have that discussion here, which is absolutely true. Yeah. Nellyman Jr. says, Sir Alex had few key black players, and as a result, their fans were not used to blacks. In our era, United have really embraced black players, and most United fans are now using them as scapegoats whenever things go wrong. So I don't know if Sir Alex is being blamed. Apparently he kept away from black players because of AFCON. And Princess Nelly says it's really difficult to control those accounts. I'm just reading people's views.
Okay. Can I add something?
No, we move
yes,
on. But I think what Sir Alex used to avoid.
Let Ochiweda have a comment and then we move.
You see, sometimes on the social media things, I concur with what you've said all, but sometimes the clubs also need to chip in. Sometimes they need to chip in to show solidarity with the players. Not that when the players in quotes color, there are other players whom they tend to align with, they support them, but when it's the other color from the blacks, then they rarely talk about it.
The club is not helping things. Okay, Masharia, move on to the next topic.
Yeah, so I think in all these things, we need something called tolerance. So as much as I said, you need tolerance, I think there is one defender that as Man United, we have tried to tolerate, and it's becoming impossible, Harry Maguire. And I want us, before we even discuss about yesterday's win, I want us to discuss Harry Maguire. And I'll begin with Gerard. Which is the best centre-back pairing, if you were to be asked, which is the best centre-back pairing in Manchester United? And I'll begin with you.
Now, United don't have a centre-back partnership that will be better than that one of Maguire and Lindelof. If you look at the Premier League, they have Johnny Evans. I don't know why they let him go. Johnny Evans, Michael Keane was once in the books, Michael Keane of Everton. So I believe United are just paying for their sins. They shouldn't have let those players go. Maguire should not be even captain of United. There's never been a captain anywhere. He's just prone to errors. Actually, Lindelof is better than him. It needs a bold...
okay.
Just go on.
Okay, exactly. And that's where now I want to bring you, Hilda, in. Man United have scored 53 goals. I think that's the highest number of goals that United have. I think it's the team that has scored the highest number of goals. But then again, you're not top of the league simply because of our defense. So do you think it's the partnership, or do you think it's the way we play football because we love sitting back? Do you think it's our style of play that invites pressure, or just the personality?
But generally for me, I think Maguire was a scam. I really don't understand why Man United paid 80 million for Harry Maguire. He's one of those erratic defenders. He's not very decisive at the back. He doesn't give the defense any confidence. Personally, I would love to see a pairing of Bailey and Lindelof. I think they can be very solid. But the issue is Bailey is injury prone. Every time he's out of the game. But when he plays, you kind of see him. He's very decisive. He tackles. He doesn't fear to tackle. He's a very good defender. But that's the issue of his injuries. That's a problem. So in the long run, I think Maguire is just a very poor defender. And then giving him the armband, that's another problem. Because you just can't buy a player and then you bring him to the team just because you bought him for 80 million. I think it was an emotional decision to give him the armband. And then you have somebody like the guy who has been in the club for a long period of time, and you don't even reward him with an armband. So, hapo ngumu sana.
John, what do you think, since it's your team?
Okay, for me, I'll start straight from the EO combination central. For me, I would go for Lindelof and Bailey, considering the fact that if you check on the statistics about the Bailey's games, we rarely concede those early goals. But whenever we play, we try to fix Lindelof and Maguire, and Maguire is too slow and sluggish.
Yeah.
I can say whenever we have that kind of pairing in central, we always concede early goals. Yes, we are strong on the fullbacks. We are good. But when any ball that penetrates through the central path, we have a challenge. So for me, Lindelof, Bailey, that is I think that is the best. And if Ole Gunnar can at least have an opportunity to give these two guys enough time of playing, I think we'll not be able to concede these silly goals.
Exactly. So I think, generally speaking, I think United had a great game going forward yesterday. And we shall talk about Man United and going forward later. But right now, I want to bring Joshua on board. You signed a German coach, fantastic coach who loves keeping the ball. And the question I want to ask you as a Chelsea fan, do you think that the style of play of keeping the ball is one that that suits the Chelsea defenders? Because if I look at the goal you conceded against Southampton, Minamino had the time to even take a photo before scoring the goal. So I want to ask you, as a Chelsea supporter, do you think it's a style of play that suits your defenders?
One, I think the culture of football that Jose Mourinho brought to Chelsea around 2005, 2006 there is not the kind of football that Tuchel can bring to Chelsea, and it's not the kind of football that Chelsea is used to. We are used to playing more or less not so good football, but winning matches and also winning the Premier League, save for the year that we brought in Carlo Ancelotti when we were scoring goals and also playing some, what Arsenal fans would say fancy football. But Tuchel, yes, is bringing that kind of possession football, but the kind of the players that we have, I don't think whether Azpilicueta can play that kind of football, because Azpilicueta is that kind of a traditional defender that used to nipate ball hapa nitupe mbele tufunge. But if you look at the likes of I think that is the kind of football that the likes of Kai Havertz can play, but Kai is still new here. He's also not physically that good for the Premier League. He can't run, he loses the ball easily. So to answer your question shortly, I think if that style of football would succeed, then we would need to give Tuchel time. But remember, we only gave him 18 months. That means he's kind of come, fix it, and go. So I don't think whether Chelsea or Marina and of course Abramovich will give Tuchel time if we don't make it to top 4, which currently looks like hard for us. But we need to give him time, which is very hard for Chelsea management, or Chelsea board.
There's a comment here from Josephat Rotich. He says, Chelsea needs a standby coach. Tuchel inakaa atawezana na kazi ya Chelsea.
But we're used to that. Chelsea is used to that. We hire and sack whenever results are not coming. So it's not new.
Every 10 games, you're like every
10 games.
They're like AFC Leopards.
Or the Kenyan cabinet. Ochiweida, and now this is why I want to bring you in. I think that Tuchel was the right choice for Chelsea. Or he's come in, he's really strengthened their defense by keeping the ball. But I do think it's a style of play that they can sustain, they can sustain to the end of the season.
No, currently that is not the game plan that Chelsea is used to, because it will take time to be implemented. For them to implement that, it will take time. As you look at the caliber of players that Chelsea have right now, and they are playing under pressure to perform. And the coach has come in with another new formation that is really giving them hard time. And if you want to gauge them, just give them the next 5 matches also that they're having. Then we'll know whether he's going to stay or not.
Jera, you're a coach, and I want to ask you a question. For how long does it take for you to introduce a new philosophy to a team?
Yeah? Is he there?
Jera?
Hey,
lost him. Okay.
It will take.
No problem. I think lost. Okay, Hilda, you can answer that. How long do you think it would take for Chelsea, for the likes of Kante, to play like Xavi, and for the likes of who else, Christensen, to play like Puyo? How long do you think it will take?
That is.
Or will it ever happen? Will it ever happen?
Yeah,
No.
I think the problem also with Chelsea, Kwanza, they are never patient with their managers. So you can't even talk about philosophy if the management doesn't start seeing your progress. The next thing you just get a sack. But I think I can add, Chelsea have a really good squad, very talented young players, and I think what Lampard and maybe Tuchel say I may miss, it's how to put the pieces together on how to play these players, because the formation he's playing, Sahi, players like Pulisic and Ziyech, they cannot under that formation. They cannot prosper under that formation. But that formation also favors Kina Havertz. But Havertz has not adapted to the Premier League. He's very slow. As Nani Joshua said, he loses the ball very easily. So I don't. It's really tricky. But I think the best kind of football that this team can use, I think the counter attack. You remember the Conte type of football, 3 at the back, and then you use the wing backs, because they have very speedy young players. You have Kina Udoi, you have Kina Pulisic, Kina Ziyech. So the way to utilize those players is to play on the counter. And I think that's the best way to go forward for Chelsea. But I don't know if that is style. So, hard small.
As in the best way for Chelsea to play, just let them run.
Yeah.
Exactly. You give them the freedom to run with the ball.
Masharia, can I say something? Can I say something?
Gerard? Okay, Joshua,
whenever-
Joshua, go first.
Can I say
Okay,
something
Joshua,
about Hilda said about counter-attacking football, that the current Chelsea squad, the current players we have can play that kind of, the Conte style of football. But if you look at the Conte players that he had, Pedro, Hazard, the experienced players, you can't tell me Odoi can run the whole season playing as a wingback. I don't think whether it's possible. You can't tell me that Kai Havertz can run the whole season in the middle of the park, because again, where you want to put Kai Havertz is where we are supposed to play my boy Mason Mount, who has been playing so well this season. You see, so Conte had very experienced players. Tuchel has players who are not so much experienced. So there's a little bit of disconnect between the two regimes.
And remember, this season is very cramped. So if you're going to go through that running style, you're going to run out of steam very quickly.
Let me say something.
I get.
But at the end of the day,
I get what Joshua says. Joshua says that even running requires some intelligence, which players don't have.
Yeah, of course it requires. It's not just that you're attacking here too, but it requires, I think, some intelligence, and then players need to play pamoja for a while. But you see, Alonso now is starting to get back to the team. Remember, we had forgotten about Alonso. Well, Chelsea fans were thinking of selling him. He was useless. But now when he introduced using wing backs, he's very there. He's very good there. So it's more
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Let Gerard, okay.
So Masharia,
It's going to take.
Let Gerard come
as a
in.
coach,
Let Gerard come in.
as a coach,
Yep.
whenever you're playing three center backs, you need to play a passer in the middle always. You check Juventus, the previous decade, they've been playing Leonardo Bonucci in the center of the three center backs. That is Barzagli and Chiellini. Roman Saiz at Wolves plays on the left, or on the right, Willy Bolli on the left. Konakodiu is a very good passer, by the way, one of the best in the English Premier League. He's playing in the middle. What Tuchel missed was yesterday, we checked clearly, Zuma was playing in the middle. Rudiger on the sides and Azpilicueta on the other side, which is wrong for that type of defense. Rudiger is not somebody who can run. Maybe he was checking to fill the spaces behind the fullbacks who are attacking. But yesterday he got it wrong. The goal was caused because the centre backs were missing. They were facing opposite directions, and then the pass was done. They were beaten easily. Whenever you are playing those centre backs, you should be very, very particular on who plays in the middle. Rudiger would have been the better option.
Can I say something?
Chelsea are playing, are losing whenever they bench Jorginho. It's the only person who is bright in that team. Maybe he's not forgotten whatever Sarri taught them. The other guy was not a coach. He was just a guy who was in the team with a good suit. He said, Avuti Sigara, but he was not a coach.
Let me read some comments. Guys, we need to move on from Chelsea. Let me read some comments and then Masharia. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, no problem.
Let me read some comments and then we go on to another game because we're halfway through the show. So Caleb Mechi Wakoli says most of the EPL coaches don't know how to use their players. Giroud, Lacazette, Ngolo, Mata are some of the victims. Morris Kawiti, what's the host laughing about? I can't see. We don't know what is tickling him down there. Maybe something is tickling him down there. Let me see. PDG, Freya, Edua, Otas. Hey, to cut a long story short, all the small teams won. Levante, the two Manchesters, Frankfurt, Everton. Edwin Odipo, all the way from the States. Lugarusic said we should be able to run and think at the same time, which is, I guess, what Chelsea players can't do. Edwin Omambia says, is it possible to include a Tottenham fan in your panel? There's a time I asked for Tottenham fans and no one responded. So Edwin, unless you're offering yourself. Cyrus Mema says, about Chelsea, give the coach some time to get the team in order. Of course, we all know Chelsea's not gonna have time. Masharia, we move on to other games, eh?
Yeah, so I want to first congratulate Arsenal for the great performance yesterday. If that game started at the second minute, that game would have ended at a draw. And I want to begin with Ochiweda. Did you just give us the general update of the game as we congratulate you for the win? Because as congratulations for the win of 89 minutes. And did you feel that by starting Odegaard, your team lacked some energy in the middle?
Yes, I concur with you. The game was well played, but for the past 2 or 3 games, we've been having concentration lapse in the first 5 minutes. But after that, the team got their rhythm back, and we played very well. But I want to differ with what Coach Arteta did, because I think we could have started with Smith Rowe, because he has shown that he has the physicality to cope up with the Premier League. Not like Odegaard, who wasn't playing at Real Madrid also, because now is when he's coming to get his match fitness. And yesterday's games needed those people who are ready to perform and deliver. But the game was well played. If at all we can rectify our concentration, maybe the first few minutes, then we are in the game. I know we are able to get better results as Arsenal. We are able to go to, and this one is I'm reassuring you that this weekend we are going to defeat Leicester. Because that's the next match.
I wish I was as confident as Ochiweda. You know,
Yeah. Hey,
as much
your confidence, man.
As much as Arsenal fans, we Arsenal fans are celebrating that we only lost to one goal. And I've had that analysis before that if we had concentrated at the beginning, which we should have, because we considered a silly goal so early. But I think City also went to sleep. Around the 20th minute, City went to sleep until the end of the game. And if they were behind, trust me, I don't think Arsenal would have, shone in quotes, because to some extent, we looked like we played a decent game after 20 minutes of the game. But I think City would have been much, much harder to beat if they had not scored that early game. Now, I don't know where our host has disappeared to, but Bethwell, since you're here, Ebu, unmute first of all. I would like to hear, you're on mute. Unmute, I'd like to hear your analysis of that game. As a City
Carol,
fan.
first of all, we normally get challenges playing mid-table sides. Arsenal is a mid-table side. Sheffield, Arsenal, Aston Villa. So yesterday's results was what we were expecting, actually. If I was to give you a sure bet yesterday, it was a 1-0 or a 2-1. Very narrow win. And then we were frozen out by Arteta. You know, Guardiola normally plays using half spaces, which he countered us by using Saka to play between those half spaces. He was one of the best players in that game, actually, and it was a bit difficult to mark him. And he allowed Chiarantini, who was playing on the left wing, a lot of space in the first
Okay, I don't know what's happening to your signal, but I don't think that Pep goes into any game hoping for
it was not a tough match.
Hoping for a narrow win. Sorry, Bethwell, your signal is going off. I don't think Pep goes into any game aiming for a narrow win. I think he goes in wanting to score 4-5 goals, especially against an Arsenal that's been losing to very small teams. And that includes...
You normally expect those wins. Are you getting me, Carol?
Yeah.
Yeah, we normally go to matches, but let me tell you, it's a bit difficult to play against Burnley. Burnley, they'll just throw the ball at you every time, every now and then. Then Arsenal has grown to be a mid-table side. We were expecting a tough match.
Or is it because he was playing against his student in Arteta?
No, he was just an intern. He was definitely going back to Arsenal.
John, I'd like to hear your views on the Arsenal Man U game. Arsenal City game. Sorry. Hey, City, I'm sorry I insulted you.
Yeah.
John, are you there?
I'm there. Yes.
What was your assessment of Arsenal City? I know you were watching, you were supporting us. That's maybe why we lost.
So from my point, Radun, I'll say for the Man City side, okay, Pep wanted a win to extend the lead, okay? But after getting the first goal, that early goal, they went, as you have just said it, from 20th minute onwards, they went and they had carried the day. You see what? But now, the problem came when Arsenal could now not press as a serious team. You see, being Arsenal, you know, currently Arsenal is just like Swansea down there. So they went there fearing Man City in the first place, like I'm playing Man City. So they never wanted to expose their defense and their midfield. So they were playing like in a match where they want to move as a whole team. And that is very hard to penetrate Pep Guardiola's side. Because Pep is that organized man. He will push you towards the end in a unit. So Arsenal could not get that space. But for me, Arsenal, if at all they could have been pressing like our Saka does every day, you could have gotten at least a goal. But pia mlienda mkasema, Man City is a big team, we should not just press. That is why I think that's how we messed. You messed. And mlikata kufunga Man City, otherwise you could have.
Can I say something?
Yes, and then Hilda will let you comment on that game as well.
John is saying that, Arsenal walikata press. At the moment, I don't think there's a team that can go toe-to-toe with Manchester City. Press, we press. If you do that, you're going to lose like 4-0 or 5-0. So I think Arteta's game plan was just to maybe, let's say, control damage. Let us just do tupigwe lakini tusipigwe sana. So I think tactics-wise, yesterday I think he did this something that even surprised Arsenal fans. Oh, tumepigwa only 1-0. So even Chelsea currently, with the kind of football we are playing, we can't go toe-to-toe with Manchester City because those guys are just good at the moment.
Hilda?
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Okay, Ochiweda, talk, and then Hilda, and then Masharia will go on to the next game.
Yeah, ever since Arteta came in, he has been working on the defensive side of Arsenal. If you look at the number of goals we've conceded, they are few as compared to the previous season against the top teams, as they are being called. And even my friend from Manchester knows that, because they never scored against us last season. So they should not talk that we feared Man City, but that is a work in progress. They should appreciate that the defensive work of Arsenal is right now is quite good as compared to the previous season. We are not letting in goals anyhow.
Wait, I just said Luis was not there. So.
Consider penalty. Hilda, quickly, and then we move on.
I also agree with Joshua. I think for Arsenal, we weather this storm. As in, we just get here and scrape. We don't concede mabao mingi. We just try and stay in the game. But I think another thing that I noted kwa hiyo game, I think Pepe and Bellerin, hiyo chemistry yao up on the left, ama ilikuwa on the left, right, hakukuwa na chemistry. Hawakuwa wanaonana kabisa. So, but I think 1-0 si mbaya for Arsenal. I think the way Ocheda said, the defense may improve.
Let me read a few comments and we move on. Young Del Power says, Radul, Arsenal is playing well. Currently, results do not show it. Football is a game, nothing personal. I understand the emotions, but at the end, it's a gentleman and a lady sport. Living to fight another day is the aim of the game. That is an Arsenal fan who wants to give himself motivation. Some comments on some of the other things we're discussing. Kimanzi Charles said the recent outcomes in many leagues after Corona clearly shows many clubs have been depending on big fan attendance in stadiums. There is some chemistry in those anthems. So I think
it's to Liverpool.
Especially Liverpool.
I'm going to say Liverpool. Jonah Kemboy says, discuss KPL games. We tried to do that 2 weeks ago and you guys didn't watch. In fact, it was even the Mashemeji derby and you guys didn't watch. Jonah Kemboy, but we will mix and match. Masharia is the host and he loves the KPL as well. Bidco United fan. Princess Nelly, Ebu asked, where do Arsenal fans get the motivation to wear those jerseys in public? Kwenda uko.
Wow.
Masharia, next game.
Now, I want us to discuss something here because I think across England, we all agree that we have defensive problems. Some teams have sorted them out by keeping the ball. Others have added defensive midfielders to their game. Some have had 19 different partnerships, but nothing is working. They're not waiting on God. And I'll begin with you, Hilda. Now, where did the rain start beating you guys? Because I think you've tried everything, and now we can only just pray for Liverpool. First time in 21 years we've been never Everton at home. What's really happening at Liverpool?
You're about to catch Arsenal.
For Liverpool, I think let me start. I think the first issue for Liverpool, even in the last 2 seasons, we had an issue of depth. We didn't have a very effective bench. Because when you sub one player and bring somebody from the bench, the game would go, the levels would drop. So, and we didn't, and during that time, we didn't get any more players to nini our bench. As you compare to Man City, when you see Man City, they can have 2 different teams. One first 11, and also the bench can make another team. So that's one issue. which has spiraled to now injuries. We've been playing intensity football for like 3 years, and then now injuries come in. Injuries, especially on the defense, and our and how our team Klopp's kind of play is that we begin from the back, from the center back there. He moves the ball to the right side, to the left side, and through the midfield. But now we don't have Van Dijk. You have 18 different pairs. Players have not meshed. You don't have a effective players on the bench. Now you have to move midfield players to the defense. Now you have Anderson and Fabinho playing center backs, leaving a hole in the midfield, which other players cannot fill. They can't play the same role as the two players. So the team, there's a bit of a very big imbalance in Liverpool. So inafanya, even now the front three, they look very ineffective. They are not also toothless at the goal. So basically our issue, I think it's just a mental issue. I think players are just mentally tired, very tired. And then also, as we depend on our fans. And since COVID, our fans, hakuna fans for stadiums. So we also struggle in that aspect. Then now you have injuries. So it's a whole problem.
Hilda,
Allow me to react to that.
You're sounding like an Arsenal fan. You're sounding like an Arsenal fan.
We're losing like four games at home in a row.
This is the same Liverpool. This is the same Liverpool. A few weeks ago, you were saying we don't have Van Dijk, we don't have who, and we're still winning games. Reality gone.
We have to adapt, but then again, we get injured. So you know, it's really difficult times at Liverpool.
Hilda, before you finish speaking like an Arsenal fan, whom do you miss the most? Is it Van Dijk in defense or Henderson in midfield?
Ooh. I really can't pick one because they both play vital roles. Because for Van Dijk defensively, he's very astute defensively. He wins almost all the headers or all the fast balls. He wins the ball. And then Anderson in the midfield, he's the energy in the midfield. That's what I really miss in our midfield. Because of late, we've really lacked energy. And Thiago is very slow on the ball. And for Liverpool, the ball usually moves fast. So for him to do the possession kind of football, he stays with the ball and then he gives out silly tackles. So it's really an imbalance. I miss both players. I can't pick one.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Okay.
Hilda said that, Liverpool wamekuwa kicheza intensity football. They have also lacked, bench power. But I think a few months ago, I had Klopp complaining about other clubs having money they can afford to buy the kind of players they have. So does it mean that Klopp had no money to buy players that other clubs had? Or was he not ready that in an event that his key players like VVD, like, the kind of players that he has missed, has gotten injury, was he not aware that with the kind of situation every club is finding themselves in, was he not aware that Ange buy maybe a kind of a backup plan for him to replace likes of VVD? Another thing, you've talked about you guys injured Nini. I don't know if Alisson Becker is injured, because if you look at Alisson Becker, he's also been making some, horrendous mistake of late for Liverpool. So I think Liverpool this season, mbaya sana.
Masharia,
can I say something?
I think.
Let me react, because you talked about Man City. Whenever you are talking, if you look at the way Klopp has been playing, it's intense. You cannot sustain that for 3 seasons. That's why the injuries come in. Whenever you used to play at Borussia Dortmund, you look at the players that featured for Klopp, the likes of Royce, Götze, they are no longer playing. Neven Subotic, Mats Hummels is down there. Kevin Grosskreutz, they are no longer playing football. It's a bit difficult to play that type of heavy metal for 3 seasons in a row. Not unless you just have good physiotherapists, whatever Inzaghi is doing in Benevento. Maybe you have a coach, 2 coaches, and 9 physiotherapists. Arsenal used to have that problem, but I think they changed their doctors. Players are no longer get injured. Van Persie came through from Arsenal to United. The injury problem went away. It's also in the team. You check about how you're training, how the doctors are treating the players, and then it's not about the money as well. Man City had problems. We slotted in Fernandinho the better part of last season as a centre-back. We never complained. So it's just their time to relax. It's bad that they won the trophy and they could not parade it. Just bad for them. It's like they never won the trophy anyway.
Can I just talk about something?
Let me react on this. Okay. I would say for the Liverpool problem, it's a progressive-based problem. You see, from they're relying on some key players like the previous season when they won the league, they basically had one team, and this gave coach an opportunity to maybe he went and forgot about other players. So when injury strikes in, now building that talent from that bench to be in a position of competing in a league has become a problem. And that is why you see when Virgil got an injury, the replacement is not possible. No, it's not a matter of like they don't have money, they don't have what. Yeah, they have a playing unit, they have a team. But now, being that went and over-relied on some other players. And I think this is why I want to say for Manchester, Ole Gunnar is doing a good thing. Because like last game, you saw him bring in that 17-year-old, bringing this guy in a field to get more playing time. Getting a playing time gives that confidence to a player. So if this coach could have shifted players, like he could have given each player an opportunity, Liverpool could not be having this problem. Like check on this Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola also, his philosophy comes in. He gives players like now, if at all he could not have brought Foden in previously. Foden is now good, but now Klopp over-depended on some players like basically Virgil, Ederson. He could not give other players. So I want to say it's a mistake that is progressive. Unafanya landa kwa defense, unaziba defense, unaleta hiyo problem kwa midfield. Ukitoka kwa midfield inakuja striking. So they can't make it for this season by Liverpool.
Can I say something?
Well, let me react to.
Can I add something there? Okay.
Yeah. Be brief.
I want to talk about the same thing that Jonas talked about because talking about even right now when we see if Manchester United now misses, if at all we say they're going to miss Bruno and Rashford for maybe 4 or 5 games, then they'll not click. They'll be saying we've missed a lot of players because they're over-relying on those 2 players. And that is a fact also. So that's just to support what Jonas said, because Liverpool have been relying on the first team players for so much that they haven't been rotating them. They do not have faith on the bench, on the players who are on the bench.
Let me add on. Also, what John, I tend to agree with John, because yes, it's also something I have a problem with Klopp for some time. He doesn't play the bench players who are on the bench. He doesn't give them game time. Now we have at the moment Minamino is at Southampton on loan, and he's really doing well, Luko. And when he was at Liverpool, he couldn't even get any game time. So for him, I think it's that management and rotation of players. I think it also lacked. About something about Joshua saying buying, as in why didn't we buy? And personally, I think even our owners, FSG, are not known for going out there and just buying players. Also, even Klopp sometimes needs he needs time to look for specific players who fit his system. So he just doesn't go out there to buy. But at the end of the day, I think we needed even a center back, at least a center back, and probably also we have another left back, so another right back for, I think, to give Trent in some competition, because also Trent has been really poor this season. I really don't understand. But good news is Jota is back. Jota is back in training. I hope to see him this weekend, at least to uplift the team. But this is Nikusa. We need to top 4. And I don't know if we'll get top 4. Either we go to get top 4 or we win the Champions League.
Let me read some comments.
Guys,
let me read some comments and then we need to wrap because there's like 4 minutes left. Let me read Zach Swaweru, who I know is a Liverpool fan. He says, Liverpool defense and midfield has costed us. I agree, Klopp needs to get 2 sets of midfield and defense, and they have to be of quality. Good luck. Karani Kimosabe says, Leicester have had more injuries than Liverpool this season, but they are cruising. And then I just want to, sorry, Mashari, I want to change your running order a bit because we only have about 4 minutes. And I'd rather we talk about the Tottenham game and what happened in their game instead of the Milan derby, because I don't know whether we are ready for the Milan derby. Who wants to comment on Jose Mourinho and whether he's going to be the next manager to leave, to go?
When he leaves, he's going to get money. He's going to be paid.
Huh?
You know, man, it's a good contract with those clubs.
He gets paid, but his ego is bigger than anything else.
He's a con man.
Can I say?
But he's a con man.
Can I say something about the game?
Huh?
About?
Can I say
He's
something
not a
about the game?
coach. He has never been a coach.
Oh, Joshua wanted to say something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think this game has so pundits have turned the game towards Jose Mourinho. I don't know why Jose Mourinho likes stealing the show, but we must give it to David Moyes. This season, West Ham have been so good, and I think that if West Ham could sneak into top 4, for me, David Moyes. Obviously, 100% should be the manager of the year, but that's a discussion that I know I might not win on other forums. But I think in that game, if you look at how West Ham have been playing this season, Jose Mourinho was just beaten in his own style of football. Let's defend as we also attack. And I think that is more or less the same way David Moyes has put his style of football this season, revolving around Souček and of course the other boy that Chelsea wanted. I don't know why, the Rice.
Declan Rice.
Declan Rice. I think Moyes, managed well to his tactics wise to beat Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho. I heard him saying that in terms of his training skills, training tactics, is the best in the world. Of course, we know Jose Mourinho. He's on ego too. We know, just his ego. But his time is also coming. It's also coming to an end. Maybe he has started losing the dressing room. That's the Jose Mourinho we know. If you start losing the big guys like Harry Kane, and of course he started this issue with the Dele Alli, that could be the start of his end at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
I don't know why you guys normally
on Jose. Caro. Well, I think for me, the issue I have with Jose and all the issue that is affecting Jose right now is something we call modern day footballers. If you look at the successful Jose all over the years, Jose has always managed players with character, some form of character, and that is why he has always been able to get the best out of those players. But now if you look at the modern day footballer is a footballer who is made of Indomie. And there are footballers who need to be soothed. They need their coaches to sing to them lullabies. They need to be bought flowers on Valentine's and things like that. But now, Jose Mourinho is not the type of coach who can be able to do that to the modern day footballer. And I think that is what he's suffering from, basically.
Let me read some comments.
Otherwise, I don't think he's a poor tactician.
Frere Edouard Otas says Mourinho is a managerpreneur. Karani Kimosabe says Jose must manage all the big 6 like Thanos and them infinite stones. Okay. John Kennedy Ofunya says Mourinho is fake and has never been a coach. think he means coach. Francisco Moara, Jose is a scam with his agent. Anataka tu pesa then aende. What? Jose getting no love.
But Jose is the best thing that has ever happened to Manchester United since Ferguson left.
No.
What do you mean?
No.
What do you mean?
No. What do you mean? No.
No.
Masari and Nani should side chat. And Joshua.
Oh. No, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been the best thing that has happened after Ferguson.
Really?
Yes. Let me tell you one thing.
Really?
For the first time since Ferguson left, we no longer compete for top 4. Now we feel like our season is off board because we are not in the top position. We are fighting for top.
Jose finished second with you. Jose alimaliza number 2 na nyinyi. Jose won the UEFA Europa League. He won UEFA Europa League with you. Who has won UEFA Europa League with you? No, but Jose was the manager.
Jose was the manager, no problem. But the only competition he had was himself. You know. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been able to do it consistently for 2 seasons.
Let me say this. Ole is where he is at the moment. Ole is where he is at the moment because of one man, Bruno Fernandes. Remove him in that team, Ole is just like Sean Dyche. Thank you.
Let me say something.
Jose should have signed Bruno Fernandes.
I've said Bruno. No, but
guys, we have to wrap. Imagine our hour is over. I'm gonna give everybody 30 seconds. Masharia, I'm gonna give everybody 30 seconds just to say how far you think your team is going to go this season. Please make it 30 seconds because I'm hungry. We can start with Man City. Yeah, Man City.
So
we just take
I'm glad
champions.
I'm winning the title, and many clubs will have to clap for me as I enter the playing field.
In fact, your 30 seconds is over.
You guys can like our page. We have a podcast. We have a podcast we do in Nakuru. It's called the Podcast Yadimba. You can follow us every time. I'll share the link.
Sawa. Ochiweda.
Yes, I see our team in the top 6. Right now, I can say I'm seeing our team in the top 6. Arsenal will finish in the top 6. Not top 10.
That's being realistic. John?
Being realistic.
Okay. For Manchester United, I say, from the
guys, who's that? Somebody's playing with their mic and Paka. It's noisy. Who is that?
There's a lot of noise. I'm not getting that.
Yeah.
Okay. For us, Manchester United, number 2 is our role, is our position. From my understanding, Manchester will be number 2 after crowning Man City as they claim it. But it will be a pride for us because whatever what Ole Gunnar is doing is making a team, is making a good team. So for this season, we are just competing, but we are not champion contented. So we are comfortable at number 2. Next season, we'll be proceeding to number 1.
Hilda, hey, Liverpool. Are they finishing on page 1?
For Liverpool, as we have conceded the title, we are here to match Man City. But what I know, we are going to fight for top 4 to play in the Champions League by tooth or nail. Either we are going to be on top 4 or we are going to win the Champions League. Either way, lazima Liverpool iko Europe next season.
The way you have whined today, we don't know.
And then one more thing, let me add. Congratulations to the Morans team for the basketball. Yeah. Well done.
And just so you know, this Saturday I have Coach Mills on Radu Live. So
nice.
Wow.
Joshua.
Surprisingly, I'm hearing Man United fans saying that they are very comfortable finishing second. But anyway, that's a story for another day. Yeah. Chelsea this season, we are just competing. I don't think whether a top 4 will be a bonus, but looking at how, West Ham, Leicester are also playing, because own your competitors way too at the moment, it's going to be tough for them, considering we are playing United this weekend, who are also doing so well. away from Old Trafford. So for us, we're just competing and
Mnapigwa.
tuone how things will look like at the end of the season. And last one, you guys, you can follow my page, Final Whistle. Thank you.
Final Whistle
Yes.
on Facebook, huh?
Yes. Thank you.
All right. So, Masharia.
Okay. Well, for us, for Man
Ochi has
United,
spoken. He said we are finishing top six. I've muted Ochi because he's the one making that noise. He's the one making that noise. Ochi Weda.
Okay.
Making some funny noises.
For Man United this season, I think this season we all agree that it will be like a Formula One whereby every team is pitting. So Man City is yet to pit, and I'm sure they'll pit soon. So as soon as they pit, we shall take advantage. And I think this is the first season ever since Ferguson left that we're going to pit for the title, and I'm still optimistic that we're going to win this one, 21.
The title is gone. Compete for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
years. After 8 years, it's no longer a decent club.
You see, no. Now, that aside, I think we are in a tricky situation on Saturday because Karo is hosting a Mzungu. Wacha nikuambia wadau, ile kizungu inataka kurushwa Saturday.
Chimeda, go get a translator in good time.
Wow.
But I'll have one of the players as well, so there'll be a bit of mix. But guys, thank you so much. Thank you to you guys. Guys, those of you who are watching, by the way, I've read your comments. I'll go through all your comments on that. There's so many comments that we didn't have a chance to go through, which I'll go through after this. Chiweda, your place is noisy. Yawato, mute. But thank you. I hope we'll have another edition next Monday. I think Monday is better than Thursday. I need to decide. Because by Thursday, I'm pushing to live. And for those of you who are watching, by the way, there are people watching saying, how did you select your panel? Can I be on the next one? I asked people to come. By the way, today I asked a national fan. I don't know, he disappeared. I got Ochiweda at 1 minute to 8. In fact, that's why you were late. I was getting a national fan at 1 minute to 8. So people confirm they're coming and then they have all sorts of excuses. But thank you guys for managing to be here. Hilda is like a co-host. Masharia is the host. I'm just a silent moderator. And thank you guys for being here. Can I log off now? Bye-bye. Oh, and I sent I sent 1,000 bob in the comment section. Somebody got it and said thank you. I saw it. But yeah, I'll give away another next week. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.